Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Okay, so yeah, I actually don't know. I looked up this quest, and it says that the thing is right here. So wait for the meeting to start. All right, we can do this.
Hey! Hey! Open up! Open up!
Well, what are you doing, Moishe?
Foot's a capora, piece of junk. Never mind. We'll cut this shit down.
Who the hell are you?
Ich reiß dir deine Arsch auf!
Come on, then. Wait! Don't kill him.
You're gonna beg for mercy? After this?
We can make a deal. We have some of your people. We can exchange them.
Our people? What the hell are you talking about?
We caught some of them yesterday, trying to get to Liechtenstein, just like you.
No, I'm after Liechtenstein because I need to talk to him. I'm not his enemy. But if you know where he is, you better take me to him. Right now.
I have my orders. I'm not supposed to let anyone near him. Especially not someone who just beat my two best men. I'm not a fool.
Right. I'll go unarmed. If that'll convince you.
You're not wearing gloves, so I'm not sure how you're holding a sword like that.
I'll trust you. But in return, you have to trust me. You can't see where we're going.
All right. But no tricks.
Those are the rules.
So I'm just gonna tell you my blade is poisonous. They're both gonna die.
Wait, who is that somewhere?
We will soon find out. Let us in.
Wenches or the neighbor's daughter, any dirt you can dig up. Off you go! Oh, who have you brought now, Sam?
I'm not entirely sure, but he says he knows you and absolutely insisted he had to talk to you.
Ah. Of course. Henry. Lord Capon of Perkstein's page. We met on my visit to Rattay. He's all right.
Lord Capon's escort. And bodyguard.
Quite. Quite. But tell me, What brings you here?
Well, that's quite a long story, sir.
I've got plenty of time, and actually I enjoy long stories. You know why? Because they demand a lot of wine. Please, take a seat and tell me everything.
If I'm not mistaken, Jobst sent you to von Berkhoff with a message. How did that go?
Not well. As we were approaching Trotsky, we were attacked by bandits. They killed all our men.
What?
We only got away by a hair's breadth. And we lost everything, including the message. We ended up in rags, like beggars. They wouldn't let us into the castle. After that, we tried to get by as best we could.
Good God! I need a drink now. But did you manage to deliver the message in the end?
We did.
And? What was von Berkhoff's reaction?
That bastard first used us, and then wanted to get rid of us. We only just avoided being killed.
Sacre. So there's no chance the League of Lords will turn against Sigismund?
No chance. On the contrary, von Berghoff and von Aulitz came here to Kuttenberg to be at Sigismund's beck and call.
Christ. And what are you doing here, actually?
I came here with a man called Zizka.
Zizka? Jan Zizka of Trotznov?
Aye, he's called Jan Zizka, of Trotznov.
Well, blow me down. Zizka is in the service of Prokop of Luxembourg, King Wenceslas's cousin.
Aye, we found that out as well. What was strange was that his band was infiltrated by Istvan Toth, if you remember.
That rat from Tarnberg. What was he doing there?
Turned out he was spying for von Berghoff. But he didn't do a great job, fortunately. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
I am starting to get confused. That makes two of us. Maybe we'll understand better if we get drunk.
You're not holding back, I see. Your health, then. After Zizka took us prisoner, it finally became clear we were on the same side, and Istvan had to flee.
So the fucker's still alive?
Not any longer.
You? Well done. Let's drink to that.
To our enemy's death.
Just when we thought we were out of the woods and Istvan was gone, he appeared outside the walls of Nabokov again, with von Berghoff and Markvart von Aulitz. Von Aulitz was on his way to Kuttenberg with reinforcements for Sigismund. And with the finger of God.
With the what?
A bombard.
Good Lord!
Have you ever seen one? I hadn't, until they used it against us.
I've heard about the bombard. An infernal weapon. Then what?
We didn't have a chance. They blew the tower to pieces and took us all prisoner. They took us to Trotsky and tortured us. But with the help of a woman who works with Zizka, we managed to escape.
Zizka. That man always has a trick or two in reserve.
Thank God. While we were making our escape, I crossed paths with Toth, and finally took my revenge for everything he did.
Dull moment with you, I see. To happy endings, then. And where is Lord Capon? Or should I call him the Prince of Poachers?
Well, the most fitting thing to call him would be hostage, because that's what he is now.
A hostage?
That's right. Von Berghoff took him with him. And that's why I'm here, in fact.
Your original plan went badly awry, I must say.
You can say that again.
For my part, I'm forced into hiding, as you've probably noticed. They're after me as if I owed taxes. Ah, if only I knew what Jobst would say.
I know exactly what he'd say as it happens.
You do?
I spoke to Jobs just after we arrived at Suchdal. He expressly forbade me to look for you, or try to rescue Capon.
That damned... Did he say why?
Aye. He said you can look after yourself. And as a nobleman, Capon has nothing to fear in captivity.
Ah, Jobst.
If we cause trouble for Sigismund, it could threaten his plans, he said. That's cowardice, if you ask me.
It's true I can take care of myself, but the old schemer could at least have warned me, whatever his plans might be.
Zizka sees Jobst as a pain in the arse, too. I mean, he's not fond of him. And he doesn't approve of his plan.
Then I expect he and I will see eye to eye. Although I prefer a different strategy to braining all and sundry with a mace. Even so, what brings you to me? You didn't take this risk just to tell me what Jobst is like, or that I should carry on with what I'm doing.
No. My first concern is to rescue Lord Capon, whatever schemes Jobst is dreaming up.
And then...
And also, it's about your safety.
My safety?
You know, they tortured us. Zizka, Godwin and me. They asked about Jobst's plans and about you. I'd have held out, but Godwin... He told them where you were.
Where I am? In this city, you mean? That's not such a terrible betrayal. Gutenberg is a big city. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack.
Not that they have not tried. They almost caught you a couple of times. If it were not for my people.
That's true, of course. But I'm not going to bear a grudge. The executioner always gets what he wants. And if he hadn't, we wouldn't be talking right now.
I apologize.
No need. It's not your fault. Nevertheless, let's turn the page. Capon. How do you plan to free him?
That's exactly why I came to see you.
Oh. How's that?
Because you move in certain circles.
And...
You conspire. You hear all the rumors.
So?
So you might know where they're holding him.
Sigismund confiscated the property of some burghers and noblemen in the city when they opposed him, and he divided the property up between his loyal followers. He seized Malashov Fortress from the Rutards, for instance. And didn't you say, Sam, that he gifted it to von Berkhoff?
Yes, that is so.
That was
because the camera was, like,
von
right behind the
Berkhoff was
barrel.
in these parts. But if he's here now, where else would he be but in Malashov? And if von Berkhoff is there...
That's where his captive will
Jesus.
be.
Correct.
What a weird camera
Capon
angle.
is at Malashov Fortress.
Well, that's fucked then. How the hell three of us conquer a fortress, and one of us a woman?
That's a conquest I'd like to see. It would go down in history.
The history of suicidal madness.
You can't just launch an assault on Malashov. It's a strong fortress. We'll need a cunning plan.
Or long ladders and lots of men. That could be arranged, maybe.
Careful! Jobst ordered us not to stir up trouble. And this would be serious trouble. But if Capon simply vanished...
Vanished how, exactly?
I don't know yet. But like I said, Malashov belonged to the Rutards. and I'm sure they're not keen on the new tenant. I think if you pay a visit to Sir Kunslin Rutard and convince him you have common interests, he'll be happy to think up a solution with you.
Like what?
Who knows? Perhaps Lord Rutard knows of a back door into his old home, and he might not be averse to an arrangement with someone who'll help him take revenge.
Someone like you.
Well, I wouldn't get my hopes up. But it's the best we've got, and there's no harm in trying. Where can I find this Kunslin?
Sigismund seized his fortress, but, surprisingly, he let him keep his palace in the city. It's right next to the Italian court.
All right, I'll give it a go.
Once you have some news, you know where to find me. Is there anything you want to know before you go?
All right, I'll set off now.
Good luck. It was good to see you again, Henry. And be careful. There's bound to be spies swarming around the palace. This city isn't safe.
Tell me about it. Danger is my daily bread these days. What are you doing here in Kuttenberg?
That's a good question. Jobst thinks I'm his spy.
You're not.
I gave him some information before I had to go into hiding, but it's complicated. Jobst thinks, quite foolishly I might say, that he'll be able to make a deal with Sigismund.
You don't believe Job's plan will work?
Trusting your own plan tends to be a big mistake. It's better to assume something will go wrong. That's why I always have at least 2 plans, and the backup includes all of Sigismund's opponents. The city is full to the brim with them. Nearly every noble house has lost some property to him. They can't do much on their own, but if they join forces, now that could make a difference.
Why are the Jews helping you?
Because I asked them to. Most Christians avoid Jews, and probably wouldn't even think of looking for something or someone here. Besides, the local Jewish community have no love for Sigismund or von Berkhoff, so I don't have to worry about someone ratting me out.
They know von Berkhoff?
Sadly, they do. Von Berkhoff instigated a pogrom in Prague. Not long ago, our new king gave him his blessing. Those who survived fled here or to Colleen.
Why would he need convincing? You said he had had a serious quarrel with Sigismund.
Sigismund has made many enemies in Kuttenberg. He kicked off important burghers from the council, confiscated patricians' property, and imposed taxes and duties on them. But he's not stupid. He hasn't completely beggared anyone, so they'd still have a lot to lose if they confronted him directly.
He just made them fear him.
I'd rather call it caution, but you're essentially right. It's complicated. This isn't chess, and the lords aren't all black or white. Each of them has their own interests. Just because they can't stomach Sigismund doesn't mean they'll side with us.
So you're sending me there to find out where he stands?
You could say that. I suspect he might be inclined to ally with us, but as I said, nothing is certain. If it works out, it will be a great accomplishment. Kunslin was respected among the former councillors.
the foreman.
My respects.
You said you needed some help with something. What's going on?
Something's happened. Oh, a real mess. And I need help from someone reliable.
What is it?
When I was fishing around for information about Liechtenstein, I cast the net a bit too wide. And one of the servant girls I questioned was just found dead.
You think she was killed because of you?
I don't know. If I did, I wouldn't be asking you for help.
I'll help you. Tell me all about it. Who was this dead girl?
Her name was Alice. She was an ordinary, pretty girl. She worked as a maid. I heard they found her all hacked up, tossed somewhere by the town wall. Oh, folk in town are saying it was absolute slaughter. They took the body to the morgue by the St. Peter and St. Paul cemetery.
I'll go take a look at her. See if I can find anything.
I think that would be for the best. Though, I don't think it'll be a very pretty sight. You can ask the gravedigger for details. He'll know the most.
When did you last see the girl?
Around a week ago?
And did you notice anything suspicious about her?
Not at all. She was always cheerful, lively. She was looking forward to a dance. Though I'm afraid she won't be dancing ever again.
What was Alice trying to find out for you?
She always brought me the freshest gossip overheard from her master. And lately, what the other maids in town were saying.
And did you learn anything important from her? Something someone would kill her for?
That's the thing. All she brought me was gossip. Who was cheating on who wasn't going to confession, those sorts of things. So you'll have to figure out the rest for yourself.
What about your other girls? Are they all right?
Yes, fortunately. I'm careful enough to keep them pretty much in the dark about my plans. That's why Alice's death shocked me so much.
What are you gonna do next?
I'd like to ask the others if they noticed anything suspicious. If someone is following them and the like, but...
But you don't want to scare them?
I'm scared myself. For them. Maybe nobody knows about them yet. If someone was to follow me, I could give them away. And I can't risk that. I don't want anyone else to die because of me.
What if I go and see them?
They don't know you, Henry. You'd only scare them. I'll figure something out. In the meantime, find out everything you can about Alice.
Do you think there could be something bigger behind the murder?
I don't know. Maybe she just got caught up in something. But it's strange. Why would someone do her like that? That's the kind of thing you do when you want to send someone a message.
Why did you ask me in particular for help?
Because you're the only one I know here.
Aha.
But don't take it the wrong way. I'm actually glad it's you. You're pretty reliable. Not even Zhishka would be of much help to me here.
Aha. Thanks. I know everything I need.
Good. Go to that graveyard, talk to the gravedigger, and take a look at that poor girl's body. In the meantime, I'll try to find out more. Then we'll put it all together, and I'll be damned if we can't come up with something.
Okay. Let's go. Okay, so that's the foreman. That's the other thing. Tournament.
Good day to you.
You must be the local gravedigger.
That's right. They call me František. At least them that can speak do. Ha!
I'm Henry.
Greetings, Henry. What do you need?
I hear there was a murder here recently. Some young girl?
True. True. She's lying in the morgue. But who the hell are you? Another Gawker?
Another? Why would anybody come to look at her?
People ain't got no respect. As soon as news spread about what was done to her, folk are always turning up to have a gawk. So if you ain't one of them Gawkers, you must be one of them other types. Well, no, you can't shave her. No, no thumb for a souvenir.
I don't want to take anything. I need to find something out.
Like what exactly?
Who killed her?
Why?
I'm worried something might happen to my friend.
That's true. She wasn't the first, and we can only pray that she'll be the last. It's true that Lumiere ain't shown no interest in her yet. I wouldn't expect that from him no more.
Who's this Lumiere? Another one of those gawkers and collectors?
No, no. He actually tried to help.
Help? How?
Well, he was investigating them others.
Right. You said she wasn't the first.
Aye. We had a couple of similar cases. Lumiere said they was all killed by the same murderer.
And who is this Lumiere?
He used to work for the local bailiff. I think he knew the first one what was killed, but that was a long time ago.
Do you remember how many girls were killed?
You mean you don't know nothing about it? Here, even the sparrows are squawking about it.
I haven't been in Kuttenberg very long.
I see. There's been one every few weeks for the past year.
Do you know where the last one got killed?
I heard some talk about it when they brought her here. But what do you want to do there?
Look for clues. Footprints, blood, anything.
That can help you?
That's worth a try.
I heard she was killed by the town walls, close to the Hole in the Wall, a dodgy tavern in the Hoprink neighborhood.
Thanks. What's this Lumiere got to do with this?
Well, like I told you, he used to work for the bailiff. I think he was a scribe.
A scribe keeps records in the Black Chronicle, though I've never heard of one doing his own investigations.
Well, the old bailiff wasn't all that interested in the common folk. But Lumiere, he was quite helpful. Folk heard about it and went to him with whatever was troubling them.
I'd like to speak with Lumiere. Do you know where I can find him?
At his home in Bohemia Street, that's near the church. You won't find him at the bailiff's no more. I don't know exactly why, though. Seems he had some quarrel with the bailiff.
Thanks. You've been a big help.
It's my pleasure, especially helping someone from the land of the living again. Actually, wait a mo. Speaking of the living, there's a girl what comes here and grieves over that dead maid. I think her name is Barbara.
And do you know where I could find her?
She said she serves in one of the burgers' houses. So either there or in the morgue with that poor dead girl.
Thanks again, Master Gravedigger.
It was good to see you, my friend.
Okay. I need to go look at the body.
So, let's see what we have here. My God! Someone really did a number on her. Oh, they ripped open her entire belly. And they didn't stop there. There must have been buckets of blood. Jesus Christ. There's hardly any blood left in her. The place they found her must look like a slaughterhouse. I should go there and take a look. Her lips are bloody, but nothing more. Tongue still in place. But if he killed her for blabbing, I reckon he'd have cut out her tongue or something, wouldn't he? These are more like chops than cuts. Somebody must have taken a sword to her. Knife wounds would be smaller, and an axe would have made a bigger mess. But it couldn't have been a long sword. That would have been clumsy. It was something shorter and nimbler. God, that madman cut off both her breasts and bits of flesh. But what did he do with it all afterwards? Did he really keep all the pieces? Nobody could be that sick, could they? Her face is a little bruised and cut, but nobody cut her there. But she has a dark ring around her neck. Was she strangled? The murderer must have had pretty strong hands, and her hair is all matted with blood and hacked off. I don't even know what colour it was. Maybe there's something more to it. What if the murderer kept her hair like some kind of sick trophy? Just some scratches and bruises, that's all. The killer probably surprised her. She didn't even have time to defend herself. So, the murderer must have awfully strong hands, because he strangled her and left a dark ring around her neck. Then he took a short sword or saber and started hacking at her. She's missing parts of her torso, but they are by the body. He also cut off most of her hair. He cut off her breasts, but left her tongue, then left her lying there for all to see. To send a message, maybe? Or a warning? Only if it was a warning for telltales, he would have cut out her tongue or something, wouldn't he? I don't know why he killed her, but I don't think it's because of Catherine.
What are you doing, lurking around without a light? Get a torch, or I'll put you in the stocks. Ugh. You're ugly. Now I know why you wanted to be in the dark. Anyway, carry on.
Rude. That was so rude.
No. Oh.
What?
Lumiere?
Oh. Christ, my head. Not so loud.
I need to ask you something.
I said not so loud. I have a splitting headache.
That's some hangover. He's useless to me like this. Unless I'm willing to wait for him to sleep it off, I'll have to get him some kind of cure or potion. Nothing like a little hair of the dog that bit you.
More booze. Christ. I'm gonna puke.
Drink up. It'll make you feel better.
Better already. Wait, what? What are you doing here? Who are you?
My name is Henry.
And what do you want from me?
I'm trying to find out who killed a certain girl. And I was sent to you.
To me? What for?
Are you Lumiere from the Rat House? The scribe?
I used to be. Now I'm just Lumiere the Madman.
Well, you don't look crazy.
Yeah. But I am. I see things in my head that aren't real. And then I point my finger at the wrong people. I'm the biggest madman in Kuttenberg.
But I need your help.
If I were you, lad, I'd leave it be. You can't help that girl anymore, anyway. You'll just end up hurting yourself.
Come now, Lumiere.
Poor girls. Nobody was all that interested in it, except for me. We let it be in the end. We let a monster walk among us. No way. You can't solve this yourself.
I'm not doing it for myself. I'm afraid he might kill one of my friends.
A friend, eh? That's not good. Not good at all. I searched high and low. And what did I get out of it? Just mockery. What makes you think you can find out more than I did?
Because I'm stubborn, and I don't have any other choice. I'll get to the truth no matter what.
You think that will suffice?
If not, I'd have been dead long ago. Bled out from a human arrow.
All right. Talk to me. Who was this dead girl?
Her name was Alice. She worked as a maid.
A maid? That fits. Yarka was a maid, too. As were most of the other victims. What did she look like? What did he do to her?
I think that he strangled her first, and then went at her with a longer blade and disemboweled her.
Did you notice the strangulation right away? It took me a while. Maybe you really will track him down.
Do you think it's the same murder?
Counting your girl, that makes 6 victims who were first strangled and then mutilated. If it's not all the same person, they must be collaborating somehow.
This is the 6th one. How long has he been killing?
Probably about a year now. Sometimes it takes him months, sometimes weeks. But I'm including missing girls, Stanya and Zdena.
Did the dead girls have anything in common?
Aside from being pretty young girls with no proper family or background, no. I couldn't find much.
Do you think somebody is killing them because they're poor and nobody will miss them?
Certainly. If somebody killed the daughter of a local lord, no stone would be left unturned.
But why does he even kill in the first place?
I don't know. Maybe he hates women. Damn it. I feel like I'm going in circles and can't get out.
What can you tell me about Yarka?
She wasn't the first. But thanks to her, people started taking an interest. She was a maid in a German family. By all accounts, she was a pious, polite girl. She was orphaned as a child. The priest from the Church of St. Peter and Paul, Father Prokop, raised her. They found her body tossed behind a barn at the edge of town. She was cut all the way from her neck downwards. An awful sight to behold.
Did you have any suspects?
At first, I thought the son from that family did it. The murderer is usually someone close, you know. But then I changed my mind.
Why?
Well, for one, I remembered the 2 girls before her who ended up almost the same. Besides that, when I talked to the lad, he seemed he wasn't the least bit interested in Yarka. Then his mother told me that they threw her out a week before the murder because she was a harlot who stayed out till all hours of the night. That really surprised me, because Father Prokop had vouched for her good reputation. But who knows? Maybe he just didn't want to admit what had become of her.
What about Stanya?
She was an alehouse wench in a tavern of ill repute called the Hole in the Wall.
You said her body was never found. Maybe she just got out of town.
You have no idea how much I'd like to believe that. Only there was a lot of blood. Unfortunately, the investigation wasn't very successful. The Hole is a world of its own, and the people there aren't very forthcoming with information.
Did you suspect anybody?
You could suspect every second man there. Those people have nothing but thievery and deceit in their eyes. The innkeeper, Mole, definitely knew Stanya, since she worked for him. But he isn't all that chatty either.
So if I want to learn anything more, I have to ask this Mole? In the Hole?
Yeah. He still runs the place.
And what about that Zdena? You said her body was never found.
Exactly. But to tell the truth, nobody spent much time looking for it. Besides Alice, Zdena was the most recent victim. It's only been a few weeks since she went missing, but I suppose
Yeah,
nobody
no
wanted to
clue
do
in
any
this
more
game.
digging.
But if her body was never found,
I hate
how do you know
Clue.
she was killed?
Because she was the same type as the other girls. Maybe the prettiest of them all. Young, beautiful. A real live one. Lively as the devil. She was a thief. A pickpocket. I never could pin it on her, though. She always found some way to get out of it.
Maybe she robbed the wrong people and had to get out of town.
Maybe. She had a partner in crime by the name of Strunad. Quite a number. He's always sitting in the hole, boozing. When I asked him about Zdena, he told me he'd rather rip his own tongue out than talk.
Do you think he'd be more forthcoming with me?
He might be. You're not known all over town like a catchpole. It's worth a try. Besides, it might still be fresh in his memory. That would be a great help.
And what about the other two victims?
It all started with them, though nobody did much about it at the time. The first one worked as a bathhouse maid. They called her Chestnut. She'd only been in town for a short while, and nobody really knew her. So I couldn't find out anything more. But the other one, Libushka, she was from Loretz. She was a maidservant, too. I also talked to her mother. She said she was really cheerful and outgoing. There were lots of suitors circling around her, but she refused them all. She knew she was pretty, and knew she could do better than some farmhand.
You mean she wanted someone higher up?
That's what it sounded like. But her mother never found out who she had her eye on.
Interesting. I'll try to see what else I can find out from the mother. Where can I find her?
In the graveyard, lad. The poor woman died of grief. It's sad to say, but we can't help those two dead girls now. And they can't help us with our investigation either. There's nobody else left who could tell us anything about them.
Why were you looking into it? Who were those dead girls to you?
I don't know what people told you about me, but for many long years I was a scribe for Kuttenberg's bailiff. Kuttenberg is a big city with a lot of people. Silver, silver, silver. Mining it, smelting it, stealing it. There's always something going on. The bailiff was always running from hell to Hades, from one rich man to another, settling their quarrels. Often trivial nonsense.
But there are more than just rich burghers and lords in the city.
Exactly. There are common folk, too. There's a lot more of them, and their troubles are usually more serious. So when one of them came to the bailiff's one time, and the bailiff was running around somewhere, I started to deal with it myself. I was pretty good at it, too.
Behind the bailiff's back?
Not really. Andreas supported my activities until recently.
What happened?
I don't want to talk about it. Sorry.
Did you have any suspects back then?
You can always find some suspect. I always dragged the most suspicious ones to the body in the morgue by force. And they threw up at the sight. Or fainted.
Couldn't it have just been an act?
Fainting? Vomiting? That's hard to act. I'd swear none of them did it.
All right. It seems I know everything I need to know. It seems there's some killer on the loose here. He murders brunette girls and disfigures their bodies. His first victim was apparently the maid Yarka. I'll go and question her guardian, Father Prokop. Another two possible victims of the same killer are Stanya and Zdena. They both hung around a dodgy tavern called the Hole in the Wall.
There has to be some hidden connection between these cases. I hope you'll find it, since I couldn't.
I hope so. Otherwise, we won't have anything to go on.
When you learn something more, stop by and see me. You've aroused a bit of hope in me, lad. I hope you won't disappoint me.
I wanted to ask you about those murders. Why are you counting the missing?
Because I think someone killed them, and we just haven't found them yet.
Did the dead girls have anything in common?
Aside from being pretty young girls with no proper
Do you think somebody is killing them because they're poor?
Certainly. If somebody killed the daughter of a local lord, no stone would be left unturned.
But why does he even kill in the first place?
I don't know. Maybe he hates women. Damn it.
Can you sum it all up for me?
We have 6 victims here. And I believe they were all murdered by... Unfortunately, of the remaining 4, the first to be killed was the next worst. They both hung on the last one. They all have...
Good.
When you learn you've aroused...
Crime's been on a bloody rise as of late, so I've got my eye on you.
I'm not doing anything. You're doing a great job keeping watch.
I'm sorry.
What the hell? Where is this?
Good day to you. What brings you here?
Father, I need to ask you a few questions.
I don't have time for theological discussions, my son.
That's not why I'm here. My name's Henry, and I wanted to ask about the murder that happened recently. Someone killed and gutted a young maidservant and left her body lying by the city walls. And I hear it's not the first time this has happened.
Another one murdered. May the Lord grant her eternal rest. Why is it you ask?
Somebody is murdering maids here. We have to put an end to it.
Yes, but those poor souls are already at God's side, and revenge never...
I don't want revenge. I want to stop more killing. That's a better reason, isn't it?
True enough. What do you need to know?
One of the other victims was a girl named Yarka. But I reckon you know that, don't you? What can you tell me about her?
About Yarka? She was an ordinary girl. She served the von Groll family.
Where did you know Yarka from?
I knew her since she was a little girl. Knew her family.
And?
I was her uncle. When my brother and his wife died, I took care of her.
Who do you think killed her?
William, that pig of Satan. He gambles in the tavern on All Saints' Day and leads the locals astray. Yarka always went there to listen to music.
Why do you think it was William? Do you have any evidence?
Evidence? He's a skirt chaser, a tool of Satan. He messes with poor girls' heads.
And does anyone else come to mind? No other man spoke with her?
No, absolutely not.
You raised her? A priest with a child?
Yes. Unfortunately, I'm not the first of the clergy to have a child on the side. At least everyone knew Yarka wasn't my own daughter.
No offense, but how did you know what to do? Without a wife, without a family? I would have been lost.
I was a bit, son. When she was smaller, it was fine, but when she grew up a bit, maybe I was too hard on her.
How does that even work? Did you have her with you at the presbytery?
When she was small, I could. But when she grew up, she had to go. It wouldn't look right.
Why do you think you were too hard on her?
Yarka was an orphan, with no family and no possessions. Her only chance of a good life was a good upbringing. And then, a husband. But the more I led her in that direction, the more she resisted me.
How did she rebel against you?
She wouldn't listen. She ran away. She ran around with all sorts. And how did it turn out? She died. And in sin. Such a disgrace.
You're well off, though. Couldn't you provide for her?
I couldn't. Even if she had been my very own. More so, since she was my brother's.
But how come?
The church's property always remains the church's. They keep a close eye on that.
Why don't you respect Lumiere?
That's my business. You needn't concern yourself about that. I won't tell you anything.
Come now, Father. I'm not just asking out of curiosity. This is about all the dead girls. Isn't it written in Scripture, speak up for those who have no voice?
A layman quotes the Bible to me. Fine. Lumiere accused me of her murder.
What?
Yes. He slandered me in public.
And how... What happened then?
It turned out he was deranged. How could he even think such a thing? He's finished in Gutenberg.
I've heard enough, Father. I'll be going.
Son, I'll give you some good advice. Don't listen to Lumiere. That man has gone completely mad.
Maybe loading would fix this problem. With get out of whatever the stupid rabbit that tells me I'm trespassing. Nope. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna completely ignore that then.
Are you Sternad? The one that went with Zdena?
Who the fuck are you?
Just an ordinary bloke who has some questions.
Well then, piss off. You won't get any answers here. All you're gonna get here is a kick in the teeth.
Why so rash? That kind of attitude will do you no favors. Let's make a deal. You tell me everything you know about Zdena, and I'll make sure you're no worse for wear.
Ah. You're the lord what that whore robbed. Don't worry about it. She weren't nothing but a lying bitch.
So, if I understand correctly, we can make a deal?
For the right price, I'll tell you all I know.
Is this the right price?
You fucking bet it is. Ask away and I'll tell you everything.
Where can I find Zdena?
Aye. That's what I like to fucking know too. Last time I saw her... Well, that'd be back when she managed to fleece you.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to find her.
I can well imagine. Well, she went to Ravstein Mill. It's quite a long ways away. She had some unfinished business with some bloke called Pint. Ain't nobody seen her since then.
What can you tell me about Zdena?
What do you want to hear? I try to keep her out of trouble, but there's just no helping some women.
So you were taking care of her?
Well, just in front of the others. Other than that, she did what she wanted. Always made her mind up and did things her own way.
So you weren't too fond of her?
Not really, no. But she did have a knack for making coin.
Did she have any friends or lovers who'd know more? Did anybody come here to see her?
Who come to see that bitch? She was always off somewhere, seeing someone. Although, once...
Someone came to see her?
Well, aye. Some stuffed frock came here once. All old and decrepit. He said he had some job for her. That she should leave behind her sinful life and all that shit. But he left empty-handed. She told him to go to hell.
Do you know who that priest was?
Some fucking Prokop or Pravoslav or some such shit. But that reminds me, I saw her a couple of times with another bastard. That fucking bard, William.
And could she have run away with this bard, William?
With that lily-livered fop? Well, he ain't been seen in town for some time, but I think someone was out to get him. He still don't come here no more. He plucks that loot of his in the miners' tavern. The wee shit.
What do you know about this priest?
Not much. Seems they knew each other from before. And he had some job for her somewhere. Serving as a maid or something. But she weren't stupid. She told him to fuck right off.
And did he go?
Aye, indeed. He didn't look like the kind of fella that'd knock some sense into a woman. I think he just told her if she changed her mind to come and see him. Or some shit like that.
And could she have changed her mind and gone to him? And that's why nobody's seen her?
No, no. She took off. I'm sure about that.
I've heard enough.
Greetings. What brings you here so early in the morning?
Did Estanya work here?
Stanya? Maybe. It depends on who's asking.
My name's Henry.
Names don't interest me. The main thing is whether it's a good guest or a bad guest asking. What kind of guest are you, Henry?
What does it matter? I want you to tell me something, so you should tell me.
Kindly leave it up to me what I should or shouldn't tell you. So, I'll ask you again. Are you a good guest or a bad guest?
I'm a good guest.
Really? Let's see. Do you know how to recognize a good guest?